Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much. This is your daily forecast for, what day are we on? Friday the 28th of August just flew by. All right, so this is intended for not only August the 28th, but it is a message for the highest good for the greater collective. Therefore, if you're seeing it on a date that's not the 28th of August, that's okay. There still might be good information for you in this reading. So it is sort of timeless in that way, or at least that's how I intend it as I'm shuffling the cards and preparing to do the reading. So ideally, we are going to talk about building on the cards that we've seen all this week, but for my listening viewers, but if you're watching this and, it's next year or something, don't worry. There might still be something that applies or fits to wherever you're at if this finds its way into your feed somehow. Okay, so let's get into this and see what we've got going on. So we've had a really beautiful week. I feel like even yesterday with that death card, I didn't get any sort of bad foreboding feelings from that. It was more about a release. I feel like we're working on letting go of some maybe really ingrained stuff. We saw the death card also twice last week. Now that we're hitting Friday, we should be in that moon energy too. It's also pretty kind of heady energy. There could be a little bit of confusion, push-pull, definitely psychic energy or intuition would be at work during this time. And the moon being major arcana, she's kind of a big player, even though she sort of plays a little bit more quietly than the rest or more subtly. So let's keep that in mind as we do today's reading. So let's see what's going on. What do we need to know? It's like I called that bitch to us. All right, that's crazy. All right, so this is the moon card, guys. I was just talking about this card. That is so surreal. I am just gonna shut up now. We saw the Ace of Cups twice this week, which is also sort of water. Not even sort of, it is water. It's this element of water which the moon kind of controls, right? To me, this moon card, I love the art on this moon card. I sort of feel like, sometimes when we may not have the answers, we need to sort of tap into the more subtle energies and listen to them within ourselves so that it can guide us along our path or free us in a way. The reason why I use the word free is this bird cage always kind of makes me feel like there's a crow trap down here. And to me, it makes me sort of think about the fact that sometimes when we feel like we're stuck or we can't necessarily see our way through a situation, if we rely upon the more subtle voices or intuitive aspects of ourselves, we can pretty much find a way out. The moon can sometimes represent confusion or sort of an inability to get a clear answer, but the reason for that, in my opinion, is because the moon is a quieter, softer, maybe even darker voice, in the sense that we can't necessarily see it as clearly as we might like. We live in a sort of ease-driven society, and so working with the moon or the messages of the moon can be a little bit more cryptic, a little bit more subtle, that sort of a thing, but it's like super, super powerful. Right? The moon is associated with the sign of Pisces, which is very psychic. So our intuition might be extremely high today. And I think that it's okay to kind of see this moon, especially after that death card from yesterday, because if there's anything that is going on with us where we are struggling back and forth with trying to let go of things or transform certain areas in our life, the moon will enable us to kind of do that. Will it be easy? Not necessarily, but anything worth having sometimes requires work on our part or dedication, focus, that sort of thing. And I think that that's sort of also the challenges that the moon presents to us, is how to strengthen those muscles, the muscles of focus or attention or, the the fine art of listening to our sort of deeper depths of ourselves. Does that make sense? So the moon produces that within us. It requires us to sort of rely on a different skill set that isn't necessarily honored in today's society, nor is it, you know, I think more and more so it is honored. Our intuition is more and more honored, or the subtle nuances of intuition are more and more honored as we, evolve. But I don't think that the moon is necessarily, what's the word, like always trusted, valued as much as it should be. Okay. And so I think that this is an opportunity for us to kind of learn how to tap into this energy and move with it, and enjoy it. Let me just make sure we're not in strange moon cycles. We're not. It doesn't look like the moon's doing anything weird. So this is moon on moon, as far as the underpinning card too. So I would say this is extremely psychic time. This is an extremely spiritual, higher self-oriented time where we need to kind of go into those dark recesses of who we are and sort things out. I think some of that is triggered from that death card, right? We've been seeing that death card quite a bit this month. And I think that if we're doing the work, we're taking the inventory, we're allowing ourselves to let go of that which we need to let go of. The moon kind of is here to honor that process, and carry us through it in a safe way. But it might be, a little bit spooky, a little bit slow going. But the process is deep, right? The moon also can represent our subconscious. So whatever it is that we are freeing ourselves from through that death card and this cage that we see in the moon card, we're doing it at a depth or a level that maybe we haven't always kind of operated at. Does that make sense? Like, to me, there's some serious strength in this moon card. And there's also, I'll say this too, the moon can represent sort of facing the shadow side. And when I look at that shadow of that crow in that moon there being reflected back to the crow that's sitting in the tree, to me, the cards are parting and we're actually seeing ourselves or maybe our situation from a much more clear perspective. In that clear perspective, is it causing us sort of confusion, worry, doubt? It's possible. But if we listen to our sort of truest voices of voices, right? The truest voice deep within ourselves, it will guide us through this scenario quite well, right? So I think that that's what this card is trying to tell us today. And look who's back. It's our friend, the Hunter. Track down your fears and desires. All right, so yesterday we had that protection guardian. Today we have Hunter. The same message goes as the other day. The Hunter stands in front of a cave, guys. This is the darkness that the moon represents. This is going inward, tracking down your fears and desires. I believe the message in this card is that if you look for your fears, you're going to find in the same place the very desires that you seek. That is a sort of, could be a more subtle, confusing kind of moon message, right? Where the moon wants us to go to the deeper spaces or recesses of our subconscious where we might be a little bit fearful of what we might find there. But Hunter has the strength, the prowess, the intelligence, the accuracy, all of that sort of, all of those great benefits to be active and produce the results that we need. And those results, I used this in the last definition of this card, but those results produce sort of the kind of gifts or the prize, right? Because a hunter goes out and they hunt for food. They feed the entire village. They're very valued in the hierarchy of the village. So if we look at this metaphorically, when I look at this hunter card and I think, so if the rewards of going into the cave or channeling this moon energy, right? Tapping into this moon energy, connecting to it, the rewards sustain us. They feed us at a very profound and beneficial level, right? The moon is very feminine. Hunter is very masculine. Yesterday we saw the protection guardian, which reminded me of the feminine counterpart to Hunter. So, and I feel like yesterday, the death card is also very masculine, coupled with that protection guardian. So we've got this kind of nice balance of strong masculine, feminine working through us right now. We need to be honoring both sides in equality. I feel like that's some of this too. I feel like our more intuitive feminine side, although it may speak in riddles or be a little bit slightly confusing or maybe be wanting to show us something that we might not fully be comfortable with, our hunter or our more masculine, active, practical, logical side has the ability to be strong and carry us through this also. But they have to work together, right? Maybe this hunter, and I'm just using this as an example, but maybe this hunter is hunting by the light of the moon. Our answers may not be quite as clear as we would like them to be, but they are there. We just need to dig deeper or trust ourselves a little bit more, connect with our higher, more spiritual self, trust our intuition a little bit more, and also seeking out to face those fears and find those desires, right? And it's time to sort of do that, I think, because we saw the release of whatever it is in that death card that we kind of need to let go of. We're making space for these new desires to, maybe become realities if we're brave enough to pursue them. All right, so let's see what the grounding stone is. Okay. So the grounding stone is a beautiful stone. It is the word love. So be kind to yourself and others today. Remember that everything that you do, if you do it from a space of love, you are protected and you will be okay. Again, I want to go back to Sunday's grounding stone, which is the underpinning grounding stone to all of this, which is blessed. We are blessed. All of this work, anything that we're struggling through, and I don't feel like there's a struggle here. I feel like it's more of an active decision to pursue what it is that we want, to hunt down our fears, face our fears and our desires, and go about sort of achieving them. But we can do that from this place of love. We can be empowered, courageous from this space of love. When we listen to that love can also guide us with this moon energy and this hunter energy to getting to where we want to be. Let me just read these cards to you really quick. I feel like this is a really beautiful, strong reading. I think that really kind of transformative things can happen if you have a moment to sit and meditate and talk to yourself. I would highly suggest it. Highly. All right, so the moon is in a dreamlike state. The crow rests on a branch staring at the moon as it reflects a darker image of herself, her dark side. Below the crow, there is a pawn that represents the subconscious mind with a caged raven symbolizing her wild side that she attempts to restrain out of fear. It is the part of herself that tries to conceal as it evokes feelings of shame. The moon illuminates areas where we project our insecurities onto others, and in doing so, we fall victim to our own harmful and destructive powers that have infiltrated the psyche. Sit by the light of the moon and travel inward to find areas where fear and anxiety have taken control. The moon asks, what are you concealing? Learning to recognize and accept all parts of our being, even the components that may be considered weaknesses, is essential for being whole. So this is the part where I feel like it could be us facing something that we don't necessarily feel as though we want to, or feel as though we're strong enough to, but we can. We certainly can. So let me find Hunter for you really quick, one moment. Okay, Hunter. Here we go. Sorry. Hunter, track down all your fearful thoughts and feelings. When you find them, you will find your desires too. And they talk about the fears of the moon, right? So there's some work we're doing. And if we stay grounded in this space of love and understand that whatever we're facing, love can conquer all of it, we're going to be fine. The Hunter card is based on my favorite Celtic god, Cernunnos. He is the stag god of the wild and represents both the hunted and the hunter. Similarly, the hunter helps you connect with an energy that is both fearful and fearless. Your fears are the only thing that are standing between you and what you desire at this time. So you have to come face to face with them as the hunter does with wild animals and go beyond them. Instead of being hunted down by your fears or other feelings that you have buried, become the hunter. You are being given confidence and strength at this time, so use your power to make a difference. You are not here to cower away or live in the shadows. You are here to realize your fullest potential. But this can only occur when you step up and do what needs to be done. When this card arises, there could be an opportunity to face an aspect of your past or bring closure to a situation that has been haunting you. If you are a man or identify as male, this card represents your masculinity and an opportunity to know yourself more deeply. If you are female or identify as female, this card represents your capacity to be strong and powerful and overcome limitations. I feel like this is just a huge opportunity to face some things that we maybe otherwise have been avoiding. And in doing so, we actually empower ourselves in great and profound ways that are like still remain to be seen. Trust this energy, go with this moon, connect to yourself, do it from a space of love. Remember that it's all a blessing and it all will sort of evolve you, educate you, grow you in a way that I think will be rather beautiful and empowering. That is your forecast for the day. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. I hope this makes sense. Please tune in tomorrow. We'll see how we end out the week. And if you like this video, please give it hit the thumbs up button. Give me a subscribe if you'd like, and leave any comments or questions. All right. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.